And we are back. Took me a little longer than I expected to get to this video, but with yesterday's news going down as it did, I figured you guys were going to get plenty of reaction videos and podcasts to the situation that unfolded finally after 22 months. And if you haven't read the description of the video or aren't reading the room in general, Microsoft is now the proud owners of Activision, Blizzard, and King. Instead of doing a bit reaction video and talking about how elated or unhappy I am about the situation, in all honesty, I'm actually happy about it. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know how I feel about older, let's just say stagnant companies being moved off the board proper by having their IP and developers absorbed into a company that at least seems to give a damn. I mean, time will tell on that. Instead of giving you a celebration video or a downer video, which again I wouldn't, about the situation, I'd rather talk about what I believe the implications of this deal mean for, excuse me, I have to clear my throat there, Activision, or not so much Activision, but, well, to an extent, Activision, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. This might be a long video. You might want to pause it, go get a drink or something to eat. The few people that actually listen to this channel, and I do love you guys. I appreciate you tuning in whenever I post stuff. And, like, subscribe, and comment if you're usual. And if you are not a usual, share this out. And if you are a usual, share this out. Let's get some more people involved in what we have going on over here. Anyway, I may chop this up into chapters just to make it convenient for you guys. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. But let's first go into Microsoft and how this affects them. I have this conversation with other content creators. I believe that in acquiring Activision, Blizzard, King, Microsoft has now made themselves two things: undeniable and hard to ignore. What does undeniable mean? In about a year because it won't happen this year, Call of Duty games are going to start launching into Game Pass. And I don't know if you guys seen the big celebratory video that Microsoft posted yesterday morning. I believe Phil posted it along with a blog post welcoming the ABK teams into the Microsoft family, so to speak. In a year, we will have, as Game Pass subscribers, because I stay subscribed to Game Pass, we will have every Call of Duty ever made, especially if you have the PC Ultimate, because they're going to put all those PC games in there. You'll have Hearthstone stuff, probably getting Hearthstone packs in the perks. We'll have maybe WoW subscriptions. We'll have Overwatch skins or packs exclusively as Game Pass perks. And you will get the new Call of Duty. You'll get all the Tony Hawks. At least all the Tony Hawks they can legally put on there, licensing fees and things of that nature being what they are. You'll have so much stuff in Game Pass in a year's time, and then you'll be getting the new Call of Duty. Think about it. Sekiro, whatever Tenchu's came out that they may still have the rights to. I don't think the ones that came out on like 360 and stuff like that are owned by Activision, but the ones before, the PlayStation ones definitely are. Maybe remakes. Don't think those will happen in a year, but you get my point. There's a lot of stuff coming to Game Pass off the off the premise that they've bought this company. Like, a lot of stuff. They have enough stuff that they can, like, drip out new Game Pass games from here until next year. Like, I don't expect them to do it immediately, but at some point, somebody at Microsoft is going to get on the phone with somebody at Disney and say, yo, Deadpool, Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, whoever else they can pull out their ass, we need to put it on Game Pass. How much do we need to give you for a licensing fee? Like, that's going to happen. And it's so good, right? Like, if you have a brain, if you enjoy video games, you cannot tell me, regardless of whether, I'm not saying you're crazy or stupid if you don't subscribe to Game Pass, but you'd have to be absolutely delusional to say it's not a good deal at that point. There are people who still say it now. It's like, do we get all the Bethesda games, Doom, Starfield, regardless of how you feel about it? I know people are going to be indifferent about that game. I personally think it's Xbox's, what's that weird ass game Kojima made for PlayStation that people love and hate? Death Stranding. I think that's what Starfield is for Xbox. You got that. Rage 1 and 2, if you're into those. Fallout, all that stuff. It's already nasty now. Now you're saying all the Diablos, all of the Crash games, the Spyro games, all of that stuff is just going to be in this service. Say it's bad. Say it's not worth it if you want to. You're out of your damn mind. You don't have to subscribe it. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to like it. But to say that it is not the best value in gaming after all of this stuff drops in it, you're crazy. That's the undeniable part. How are they hard to ignore? Because I don't want to stick too long on that. We're already 7 minutes in. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Sony about a month ago, actually about a couple of weeks ago now, when they announced, oh yeah, we're not going to depend on third-party exclusive deals anymore. They weren't doing that because, oh, it's a change of strategy and we don't want to depend on that stuff anymore. They did that because they know damn well they can't do it anymore. See, before this deal went through, it was very easy for Sony to slide a couple $100 million at Company X with this big game and say, yeah, don't put that on Xbox, only give it to us. Or wait a year before you put it on Xbox. Give it to us first. We're PlayStation. We got all of this money. Call of Duty is first and foremost on our machine. We got advertising rights for this. We got advertising rights for that. And they were making and are still this year going to make extra scratch. And scratch is money for you younger kids. They're going to make extra scratch off of Call of Duty this year because of some bargaining deal or a collective bargaining deal, I guess is what you want to call it, that they have with Activision where they make certain extra amounts of funds off of Call of Duty. After this year, that shit is over. That's done. All of that extra money, those extra funds they have to siphon and throw at other companies because of the money they make off Call of Duty microtransactions, stuff like that, that's over with. They don't have that money pot anymore. They can't depend on that anymore. So, on the one hand, they won't have the money to throw around that they do now. On the other hand, what third-party company in their right mind is going to say, yeah, I'm only going to put my game on your platform because it's the quote-unquote most popular. I'm going to ignore this platform where people who subscribe to the service on it are getting the new Elder Scrolls games. Because if that Elder Scrolls Oblivion and Fallout 3 remake happen next year, oh my God. Along with the Call of Duty, which is supposed to be Gulf War, I believe. Dear Lord. Right? Let's not even mention all the other stuff they've already announced. Back on track. Who in their right mind is going to say, yeah, I'll take a $200 million check from you to not put games on the machine where slowly but surely people are going to start to realize, damn, they got some shit over there. They got a lot of shit over there that I could dive in, and all I got to do is give them a little bit of fee, and I ain't got to spend $70. I could just try this shit and then delete it when I'm done. Why not? Why not let it fly? And I don't think you'll see the results of it this Christmas, but next Christmas, next holiday, that Xbox unit sale number is going to be interesting. If Microsoft plays it right, which if anybody fumbles a bag, it's Microsoft. But if Microsoft plays it right, them holiday numbers next year going to be something else. I'm just to put it out there. If they strategically drop into Game Pass games that they have rights to, if they strategically drop in to Game Pass games they don't necessarily have the rights to but can acquire the rights, you drop Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 in the Game Pass around fall. You drop the new Deadpool. The new Deadpool movie with Wolverine is coming out next year. More than likely, Sony's going to either put out the new Wolverine movie next year, or they're going to start heavily advertising it. If that movie comes out next year, what's stopping you as Microsoft from dropping that Deadpool game that Activision made and published in the Game Pass? And maybe even renewing it. It's trouble. It's trouble. Like, Sony's still Sony. The brand is strong as ever. I don't see them dying. That anybody telling you that, that's hogwash. I don't think they're dying. And I don't mean to disagree with the likes of King David in a harsh way, but it's like, I don't think there's not going to be a PlayStation 6. I think at the very least we'll get a PlayStation 6. I could be wrong, though, and I'm not betting my knees on it. Because this shit is nasty. But yeah, why would any, again, back on track, why would any third-party publisher willingly ignore a company that has that much motion? Why? You'd have to be insane to say, yeah, I'm not making the Xbox version of that. I'm not putting the game on a console that's got that much stuff immediately available to its fan base. I'm not doing that. You'd be insane. Let me say it again. You'd be out of your damn mind to do that as a third-party publisher. If you have no legal allegiance to Sony, meaning that you are not beholden to them because they own you or something like that, you better do what Square Enix is doing and realize, yo, we ain't got to get these dudes shit exclusively. They ain't even got it like that no more. And they don't. When it comes to that part of the quote-unquote game of just being able to make little side deals, they ain't got it like that no more. And we can move on from Microsoft. I'll go into more detail on that in another video because, yeah, dude, like we knew this was going to happen, but that shit is crazy. Let's go on to Nintendo because this one will be real quick. What's going to change for Nintendo? Absolutely nothing. Just take a sip of my drink. Nothing's going to change for Nintendo. What's going to change for Nintendo? They get Call of Duty. Probably going to be one of the better selling versions of the game. As a matter of fact, the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Call of Duty, because that's the version they're going to get, is probably going to outsell the PS4 version or the PS5 version. Now, you can bookmark me saying that and clown me about it a year from now, but it's like it's going to be a handheld console you can carry anywhere and play Call of Duty on. Like, it's probably going to have some kind of split screen or at least ad hoc play, right? Co-op, all that nonsense. Like, outside of buying like a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally or any of these other little handheld PCs or whatever, which are like anywhere from $400 to $700, $800 to get your hands on. Trust me, I know I have two of the ones that just listed. The Switch 2 is going to be, what, $3, maybe $350, maybe $4 tops, depending on, the rumors of what we've been hearing about how powerful this thing may or may not be. Call of Duty on it. Call of Duty on that. And you can carry it around anywhere, and it's a Nintendo machine. That might be the best-selling version of that damn game. But it's gonna be same old for Nintendo. They've been living without Call of Duty for years, so add on to the pile, bro. We good over here, and that's it with Nintendo, really, right? The ones that are gonna be affected the most outside of Microsoft, Sony. You're already seeing it. Jim Ryan let go. Several studios shut down. Several games, more than the ones that's been announced, canceled. They're saying it's on ice, the Factions game. It may be canceled. My personal hope, is that it's put into the Last of Us 2 remake. Just fucking unnecessary, but whatever. Hopefully that it's put into that as just a basic multiplayer, no microtransactions like the original Factions mode was. But I don't know. It's the fact that it's on ice and they're going to try and depend on Last of Us 2 remake, which is probably going to coincide with the premiere of The Last of Us Season 2, because I believe the writers' strike is over with. I don't know if that affected the actors that went on strike or if they were just striking with them. I'm not into that shit, but I'm pretty sure the release of that game is going to some extent, coincide with the release of Season 2 of that TV show, because the storyline is going to follow that, right? All that being said, Sony is in a very unique, but I would say advantageous position. They have to do what Microsoft essentially did in 2017, and that's a brand reset. Not a full one like Microsoft, but they got to do a brand reset. We cannot, and by we I mean Sony, we cannot continue to depend on third-party, narrative-based, sneaking through the grass and cutting motherfuckers' throats games. That shit's got to stop. I don't care if there's robot dinosaur motherfuckers, zombie motherfuckers, it don't matter. It's time to cut that out. Make something different now. You used to make different stuff all the time. Patapons, the Jet Motos, Twisted Metal. I always go back to those two, but it's like there's no reason those three franchises should be gone or out of sight, out of mind when it comes to the PlayStation brand. Where the hell's the new Parappa the Rapper? If Microsoft, who's in third place, this is ideal third place, and I got a video coming up about that. If Microsoft, who's in third place, can put out Pentiment, which people seem to enjoy, people seem to think it's a good game in good form. It looks interesting if you're into that kind of adventure game. If people can enjoy Pentiment, and Microsoft can, more importantly, be in third place and put out something like Pentiment, why the hell aren't you making a Parappa the Rapper game? What's your problem? Right? You're too dependent on one genre that you got all your studios making, while you pay somebody to make something unique or different, and then you pay them to keep it on your machine. You paid the guys who made Stray to only put it on PlayStation because it was different. It's still a third-person game, right? Except for you following around a cat and sneaking around and stuff. But you paid them to make that because you didn't want to do that. You wanted to make another, you want to reskin the same concept you've been reskinning for the past 7 years. Call it what it is, dude. Like, that's what they've been doing. And now they got to stop. Now, because of this deal going through, you not only have to make Twisted Metal, but you better not make it a live service game. You better make it a game like the old ones with a storyline, and all of the stuff is in the game. And if you want to sell some map packs or something like that, you could do that. But all of that selling skins, guns, and shit, wipe that off the plate. Don't do that. But you need to bring it back. You got to have something that's not a reskin of Last of Us or Uncharted or Horizon or Ghost of Tsushima or God of War. Like, you got to do something different. And I think that's good for them. Like, check. Shinji Mikami and I forget my man's name. Shinji Mikami is now apparently a free agent. Apparently he was on a non-compete clause or something. I thought they only did that shit in wrestling, but apparently they do it in video game development too. which makes sense when you think about it. He left Tango Gameworks shortly after Hi-Fi Rush was published. Now he can work anywhere he wants to. His non-compete is up. And the same thing goes for my mans who left Platinum. I think actually he might be Shinji Mikami. I'm messing this up. I can't remember their names. Anyway, one dude who used to work for Clover via Capcom left Platinum, and another guy who left Tango Gameworks is now a free agent. Sony, if you smart, get those two guys together, make a studio, and have them making games for you. You need a Japanese studio, and since you let Jim Ryan close them all down, let them guys rock. Get them guys going. Don't let them become free agents, and then Microsoft throw some money and like, yeah, let's get your first project. Because you know Microsoft about to do what you was doing, right? Especially after all them games you played when this whole situation was going down. They about to go at y'all like that. They already screwed y'all out of all Activision games. Said, yeah, you can get Call of Duty. When you spent the better part of 22 months trying to stop the deal from going through, you try and play nice all you want to. Like this, y'all got some work ahead of you. You gonna have to change how you do things. I'm sure Spider-Man gonna be fire. I'm sure the Wolverine gang gonna slap. You know what I'm saying? But it's not gonna be sweet like it was before. It's a lot of work ahead for Sony. They got some motherfucking work to do because it ain't gonna be the same no more. Like after that, what's the Ronin game? They got the Ronin game. They got the sword game that I believe is made in either Korea or China. That was coming out on Xbox, but now it's only on PlayStation. Y'all, and again, this is the sad part. What genre are they in? The third-person narrative-based genre. What are we doing? So if I look at that, that tells me that not only had you transitioned your internal teams to making games as a service games under Jim Ryan, you were now paying outside teams to make the games you used to make, which was third-person narrative-based games. Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that until now. Y'all got some shit to do, man. You in first place. You're going to be there for a while. You'll probably win a generation off raw numbers because PlayStation as a brand is so damn strong. But you got some course correction to do because let me tell you something. We halfway through this one. I'm going to give y'all the same warning Dracula gave them fools in that Netflix special, in the Netflix show. Y'all got 3 years to get your shit together. When 3 years is up, it better not be like this. It can't be like this. This ain't going to work. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on my little tirade there. It's interesting times, man. This timeline we live in is crazy. You know, maybe Sony will make some acquisitions later on down the line, and maybe they'll course correct, and maybe they'll keep their spot. I don't know. Something got to change because this ain't it. This ain't it. Like I really think, depending on again, let's say it with me if you know what I'm about to say. Weaponizing neutral content. Depending on the weaponization of neutral content, has really dug them in the hole, especially when your biggest competitor said, "Oh no, let me take that." That's essentially what they did. They said, "No, let me get that real quick. You don't need that." Swiped it from them. Damn. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll holler at you soon. We have more videos coming up soon about other intricate details of this entire situation. But boy, this shit is crazy. All right, y'all, later.